Have you ever heard the story of Theseus? He was the son of King Aegeus, king of Athens. He spent the beginning of his life away from his home. Theseus was brought up in Trojan with his mother, Aethra. The prince would soon return home when he was ready. That being said, he needed to lift up a rock to retrieve heirlooms left for him by his father, a pair of sandals and a sword. With the items collected, he was ready to return home, and soon to become a great hero in the midst of it all. But will it be worth it? Theseus began his adventure home to the city of Athens. He left Trojan behind. On the way to his home, he battled many bandits and monsters. Arriving at Athens, the Athenians already saw him as a hero. Theseus was invited to the king's banquet. However, the king wasn't aware that it was his son. The queen of Athens, Medea, tried to poison Theseus because she knew exactly who it was. It all stopped when King Aegeus noticed the sword that Theseus took out. He threw the drink out of his son's hands. The king banished Medea after this. One of the greatest adventures that Theseus would ever have would be defeating the Minotaur. The Minotaur was a horrid monster, half man, half bull, hidden away in a labyrinth. Theseus began to traverse the labyrinth to find it. When Theseus found the beast, he killed it with his bare hands. After the death of Minotaur, Theseus has his voyage home to Athens. However, he had forgotten to do one thing. King Aegeus was watching the ship come home, but Theseus forgot to hoist the white sail. It was assumed the prince was dead. The king jumped off the cliff, thinking his son was now gone. Afterwards, Theseus was crowned king. But he now thought to change the government. to change the government into a people's government. He resigned his royal power, giving the power to the people of Athens. Yet another adventure arises. Theseus and his best friend, Pirithous, make their way to the underworld. They are trying to save the goddess Persephone. However, they do not prevail. Theseus was imprisoned there. Luckily, Hercules came to the rescue. Theseus and Hercules leave the underworld, but sadly, also leave behind Pirithous, who is forever to sit in the chair of forgetfulness. Theseus and Hercules eventually part ways. Theseus came home to Athens, but he ended up facing an uprising by Menestheus, a descendant of Aegeus, an old king of Athens. He couldn't stop it, so he sent his children to Euboea. Theseus himself sailed away to the island of Skyros. The king of Skyros, Lycomedes, had other plans for Theseus. The hero suffers a death by being thrown off the cliff, ending the final chapter of his story. And that is the story of Theseus.
Story of a man called Theseus. His country, well, his city-state technically, was in danger, and he sent himself forward into enemy lines. He slayed the Minotaur and saved his city. You know what they did to him? They exiled him. He died in disgrace, despised by his people. That's what happens to heroes. The Greeks knew the score.